everybody. Thank you again for tuning in for the virtual Compton Pride 2020. Again, Andrew here, he, him, his. And today we're so very fortunate to be joined by the underserved cultural community as a part of the DMH stakeholder engagement. So with us, we have Kelly Wilkerson, who works with the department, and she is the UsCC liaison. And we have Terry J., who is the UsCC chair for the LGBTQIA2 spirit. And so thank you guys very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I know I said underserved cultural community in DMH, but a lot of the people who are with us right now may be unfamiliar with both of those terms. So would you guys mind just letting me know what the UsCC stands for and what you guys do?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start it off, give you a little background. The UsCC unit, so Underserved Cultural Communities unit, was developed as a response to the Mental Health Services Act, the Prop 63 bill that passed in California in 2004. And what the state said was across all counties, across the entire state, there needs to be a concerted effort to engage underserved and underrepresented groups. And so the way that the Department of Mental Health responded was by developing the Underserved Cultural Communities, or UsCC for short, unit. And initially this unit started out with 5 groups, and at the time it was called Underrepresented Ethnic Population, so UREP for short. And it stayed in that capacity for a few years. And then there was a push both from the community and internally within Department of Mental Health to also target the LGBTQIA2 community, who had been historically underserved, inappropriately served, and just unserved in general by the Department of Mental Health. And so the name was changed from UREP, Underrepresented Ethnic Populations, to Underserved Cultural Communities, to also include the LGBTQIA2 community. And I want to say that was around maybe 2011 is when this subcommittee was developed. So going strong for close to a decade, and we're keeping at it.
That's great to hear. And then Terry, as your role as the co-chair, what are some of the things that you're tasked with?
So as a co-chair for the LGBTQIA2S, I know it's really kind of like we're a combination of all these acronyms that are building up. And as reputation for the subcommittee as a co-chair, Greg is also part of the co-chair. So it is a part of the co-chair for the responsibility for a 2-year term. So it's really kind of like a platform in a subcommittee for one of the 7 subgroups under the DMH. It's really about really working directly with consumers and also providers here in LA County that work closely directly with our LGBTQIA2S population here in the county of Los Angeles. So it's really about providing linkages and referrals and resources for those in need that are affected by mental health issues. So it's really about working, collaborating effectively with our providers and also consumers who are part of this members of our subgroup. So it's really kind of like targeting mental health issues, and that's really very important on a day-to-day topics.
You know, with the part of your guys' work with the UsCC, you guys do capacity building projects to really bring awareness and get more consumers, those community members who may need mental health services or support. What are some capacity projects that you guys are currently working on?
So it's one of the best parts about the subcommittee. The subcommittee is to act in a couple of different capacities. There's an advisory board for the department, but the subcommittee members come together and share project proposals and the capacity building projects. The purpose is to identify culturally unique and recovery-oriented approaches to engaging underserved groups. And so community members, subcommittee members, stakeholders come to the meetings, share ideas, and the subcommittee members vote on what they would like to focus on for that year. And then we internally in Department of Mental Health send those projects out for solicitation, and generally the folks who are awarded those projects are community-based organizations, individuals, folks who are embedded in and passionate about the LGBTQIA2S community. So right now, this past year, and Terry is one of the proposers of the of the Indigenous Pride LA project, which is it was a labor of love for Terry for sure. And that project, the Two-Spirit and Indigenous communities within the LGBTQ plus umbrella have been in particular underserved, underrepresented. So this project targets the Two-Spirit community, the Indigenous community, the First Nations communities, and engages them in what we called a community collaborative. And so Two-Spirit community members came together and they talked about some of the specific mental health needs of the Indigenous communities, developed a curriculum, and that curriculum will be used to by the vendor to go out into the community and facilitate health and wellness workshops, participate in community events. They're going to do a little bit of digital media. So that's a really exciting project. One of the other projects is the Story Collective project. And so this project is targeting LGBTQ plus younger folks and engaging them in art workshops and using art, painting, sculpting, photography, poetry as a way to talk about their unique mental health experiences, being both a member of the LGBTQ plus community and also experiencing mental health firsthand. And at the end of this project, they're going to have a community art exhibit once we're allowed to return to getting together in person. We look forward to that. So they're going to have an art exhibit. We really are looking forward to that. And then also we do mental health conferences. We've had those are super popular. The workshops, the topics of the workshops vary depending on what the subcommittee identifies as needs for education for the community at large. And also we use outcomes and survey responses from previous years to determine the topics of the conference. So lots of exciting work, lots of exciting stuff.
I want to add on to what Kelly had mentioned also, and I think it was very important as the prior co-founder for the Indigenous Pride LA, having that to be into our third year of really bringing visibility of our Two-Spirit here in Los Angeles County, but also worldwide when it comes to Indigenous identification for being Two-Spirit, and also about having to be the brainchild, having to really come up with this idea about the visibility of Two-Spirit here in the Los Angeles County, having to write the proposal. It was really important for me to really bring voices to faces, and this is how I came up with the project proposal when it comes to Indigenous Pride LA for LA County. And I was very happy and excited that it had been accepted and approved, and also in the works as far as like really bringing larger visibility when it comes to Indigenous Two-Spirit. And so I'm very happy about that. So that doesn't take away from all the other cultural ideas or project ideas, but we're all just in collaborating together as far as bringing cultural awareness to our community here in Los Angeles. So I wanted to add on to that. I think that was very important, just to be part of that project proposal.
Absolutely.
And it sounds like the USCC does a lot of great work, from the workshops to the PSAs to the conferences, and really bringing awareness, but also giving that voice. And since Terry, you are a part of the USCC and a co-chair, you really serve as a voice or an advisory position to DMH. And it's so wonderful to have these venues where we can have our voices heard and heard. And now, virtually we're being heard by a lot of people right now. So Terry, in your opinion, what do you think should the community or the county of Los Angeles really focus on to further advance support for the LGBTQ plus community?
So I think that coming from during that time that I have been involved with our USCC for our subcommittee for LGBTQIA2S, I come from both sides of being a provider and also as a consumer. And I think as a co-chair, it's really about collaborating with our providers and our consumers with our community about building the bridge as far as bringing the mental health when it comes to Department of Mental Health, and really engaging with the community about listening to our community members. What can we do to help you when it comes to mental health issues? And working directly with our providers about really working together again with our LGBTQIA2 as who really need to access resources and referrals and services to get the help they need when it comes to mental health topics. So I think that's very important because it branches out not just only for the mental health topics, but it branches out to housing issues, it comes to mental health issues, it comes to unemployment issues, it becomes to racial injustice, it becomes to everything else. So I think that it's really important to really bring the information to our community and really listening to our communities. What can we do to help to be a part of our community? So I think that being as a co-chair, as not only as a provider and a consumer, but it's about really working effectively and collaborating with our community and working with our members of our subgroup committees. So I think that's just part of the entire encompass. For me as a Indigenous women, it's really about working collectively, working with everybody else, culturally speaking. So I think that it's really important when it comes to mental health issues with the entity of Department of Mental Health. And also it's a chain of command as far as being able from it trickles down all the way down to our community. What can we do to help? So we're there, as far as the services that we offer.
So that's great, and it is truly important for everyone to be able to have their story heard and to feel heard. And for you guys that are joining us, if you're interested, how would they join the USCC or participate? If someone's like, wow, this sounds like a great venue for me to be an advocate or for me to share my stories or for me to give ideas on how to support the community.
And again, as a co-chair, it's about really being able to really reach out to our community. It's never enough to reach out to our providers who work directly with our LGBTQIA2 individuals or the communities, but also with our consumers who are out there who can bring much more voices and alternate ideas, and to be part of this subgroup to really kind of like go into our community where those that are really hard to reach. So it's about those voices really getting into the really deep places in our community that really don't have accessible resources. So this again, as a subgroup, is about really working together with our community for those that don't have a voice, and that these voices are for them to really speak up. So again, and it's about collaborating with everybody else, and we also recruit and send out all much information, that we're here as a group working together for our LGBTQIA2 committee.
Thank you. And I truly appreciate your guys' time again. And for all you watching, have your voices be heard. So email USCC at LACounty.gov. You can be a part of this great collaborative group. So thanks again. Thank you guys all for joining us at Compton Pride. Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you.